The year 2018 marked a watershed moment in the Horn of Africa. Ethiopia and Eritrea, locked in a bitter conflict for 2 decades, signed a peace agreement. This historic accord, brokered by regional actors, promised a new era of cooperation. The agreement brought an end to the state of war. It also reopened borders and restored diplomatic ties. The world took notice. The international community lauded the agreement. It was hailed as a victory for diplomacy. Hopes ran high for a lasting peace and a brighter future for the region. The agreement held the promise of economic integration. It also offered a chance for reconciliation between the two peoples. Many hoped it would usher in an era of stability and progress. The immediate aftermath of the peace agreement witnessed a flurry of positive developments. Flights resumed between Addis Ababa and Asmara. Families separated for years were reunited. Embassies reopened, signaling a return to normalcy in diplomatic relations. Cross-border trade, dormant for years, flickered back to life. Ethiopian goods flowed into Eritrea, and Eritrean products found their way to Ethiopian markets. The reopening of border crossings facilitated the movement of people and goods. This brought much-needed economic relief to border communities. Cultural exchanges resumed, rekindling people-to-people ties. Musicians and artists from both countries crossed borders to perform and showcase their talent. Sporting events, once unthinkable, were organized, fostering a spirit of camaraderie. The peace agreement paved the way for cooperation on regional security issues. Ethiopia and Eritrea, along with Somalia, formed a tripartite alliance. This aimed to enhance regional stability and counter common threats. Despite the initial euphoria, the road to lasting peace proved to be bumpy. Deep-seated mistrust, a legacy of the long conflict, lingered. Progress on key issues remained slow, fueling anxieties on both sides. The border demarcation process, a critical aspect of the peace agreement, stalled. Disputes over certain border areas resurfaced, raising tensions. The slow pace of implementation bred frustration and skepticism among some segments of the population. The issue of accountability for past atrocities committed during the war remained unaddressed. This lack of closure hampered reconciliation efforts. The presence of Eritrean troops in the Tigray region, deployed during the Ethiopian government's conflict with the Tigray People's Liberation Front, TPLF, became a source of contention. Ethiopia demanded their withdrawal, while Eritrea remained non-committal. The lack of transparency surrounding the presence of Eritrean troops fueled suspicions. It also raised concerns about Eritrea's intentions in the region. The port of Assab in Eritrea holds immense strategic importance for Ethiopia. Landlocked since the secession of Eritrea in 1993, Ethiopia relies heavily on Djibouti for its maritime trade. Access to Assab would provide Ethiopia with an alternative gateway to the Red Sea. This would reduce its dependence on Djibouti and enhance its economic competitiveness. The peace agreement raised hopes of Ethiopia utilizing Assab for its imports and exports. This prospect was particularly appealing for Ethiopia's northern regions, which could benefit from reduced transportation costs. However, progress on this front has been sluggish. Negotiations on the terms of access and use of the port have faced hurdles. Disagreements over tariffs, customs procedures, and infrastructure investment have slowed down the process. The lack of clarity regarding the management and operation of the port further complicates matters. The Horn of Africa, a region marked by its strategic significance and complex history, has witnessed profound geopolitical transformations over the years. Ethiopia and Eritrea, two nations with a shared and tumultuous past, have played pivotal roles in shaping the dynamics of this region. From colonial legacies to modern-day alliances, the interplay of regional and international forces has continuously reshaped the political landscape. Understanding these transformations requires a deep dive into the historical context, the ambitions of regional powers, and the ever-evolving global interests at play. In recent years, we've seen a remarkable shift in relations, particularly with the peace agreement between Ethiopia and Eritrea in 2018. This landmark event not only altered bilateral ties but also had significant implications for the broader region. As we delve deeper into these changes, it's essential to consider the socio-economic factors, the role of international diplomacy, and the aspirations of the people living in these nations. The story of the Horn of Africa is one of resilience, adaptation, and above all, hope for a more stable and prosperous future. In recent years, Ethiopia has made significant strides in establishing a naval base. This move has not gone unnoticed by neighboring countries and regional powers. Reactions have been mixed, with some viewing it as a stabilizing force, while others see it as a potential threat to the balance of power in the region. Military maneuvers have become more frequent, adding to the already tense atmosphere. Diplomatic tensions have escalated, with various countries expressing concern over the growing militarization. These developments have led to a complex web of alliances and rivalries, making the situation even more precarious. The Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, or GERD, has been a focal point of contention. Ethiopia views the dam as a vital project for its development, but downstream countries, particularly Egypt and Sudan, fear it could threaten their water security. This dispute has contributed to regional instability, as negotiations have often reached an impasse. Looking ahead, the relationship between Ethiopia and Eritrea remains a critical factor in the region's future. While there have been moments of cooperation, underlying tensions persist. The path forward will require careful diplomacy, mutual respect, and a commitment to peaceful resolution of conflicts. Only then can lasting stability and prosperity be achieved for both nations.